Feels like an understatement to say that this is a challenging time for our city. No one is immune to the coronavirus and no one is unaffected by it. And although our struggles in this time may feel individual, we are collectively coping with the impact. As the Thunderbirds take to the skies today to thank our healthcare workers, they're also giving us all an opportunity to share in a moment together, to be thankful for what we have right now and be hopeful for what lies ahead. Let's get started with anchor Ross DiMattei, who is standing by on the roof right now. And Ross, I think you may have the best view of the city today.
Yeah, Jackie, it's hard to complain when you have this view behind me. Omen, if we can give them just a brief view here and give them a pan behind, we have an entire view of the Las Vegas Strip here. We are located on the roof of our station here in Chinatown, just west of the Strip, and we really can see almost every corner of the valley. But the best part about this flyover, I think, is that there really is no bad seat. Depending on where you are in the valley, everyone is going to be able to get a sight of this flyover and this salute from the sky as we watch the Thunderbirds make their rounds, starting from Nellis Air Force Base and kind of working in a counterclockwise rotation as they hit every corner of the valley, like I mentioned. And really, this is about taking our mind off of the current situation and giving a nod to our healthcare professionals. Jackie, we'll send it back to you.
Absolutely. And Ross, now we're going to bring in Brigadier General Robert Navani, who is joining us live via Skype to walk you through the spectacular show that we're about to see. And General, I know that you have a view of these jets right outside your window right now. What are you looking at?
Hi, Jackie. Hey, Ross. Hey, everybody. They're taking off right now. So I just heard them outside my window. So I'm here at Nellis Air Force Base, and I'm so excited to be part of this opportunity to help answer questions or have some comments. And what a great time to be back with you again.
Yes, General, we are so thankful for you for being with us today and for you allowing, we're just watching the jets take off right now from Nellis. Let's see if we can get a shot. We're looking at Chopper 13 right now. General, give us an idea of how this came together. I know that it was sort of in the planning stages for the last couple weeks, but this felt like the right day. And why did it feel like the right time to let these jets fly?
You bet, Jackie. We got really lucky. Look at them taking off right there. They're going to take a minute to form up and get their formation together. We took a few weeks off, like everybody did when the initial changes to our life came at the beginning of the month. And we had to adapt on how we were going to maintain airplanes, how we were going to try to do some training. And with our Thunderbirds, we sat them down specifically to prevent them from getting sick or any of that nature. But now that they're back into the groove, this is an opportunity to do some great training. And we saw an opportunity as well to salute the real heroes that are out fighting the virus every day at our 16 local hospitals. And so this will be a chance for them to get together and all of us look up for just a minute and smile and get back to fighting the virus.
Yeah, General, the show just getting started right now. You can see those jets after they've taken off. They're flying through the sky, north side of the valley right now. And tell us where they're headed first.
Right, so they're going to maneuver just a little bit. That 4 ship right there looks like they're the Diamond. So that's a slot pilot in the back. He looks like he's got a tank on the belly of his airplane. He's in 2 seats probably. And it'll take them just a minute to do a few checks to make sure the jets are working like we want them to before we get them into tight formation. And they'll go ahead and complete their checks probably just north of the base, and then they'll get on their profile out to the northwest.
All right. And tell me about what these pilots told you before taking off today. I imagine that this is a powerful moment for them, and just to know that they are our heroes, but these healthcare workers are our heroes too, and they're able to sort of thank them in this very special way today.
Well, first, they're incredibly excited to fly for Las Vegas. This is their job. Their job is to highlight the precision and the excellence that the United States Air Force does in every mission. They are the face of the United States Air Force, and because of the virus, they've been sat down for so many weeks. We should have had 6 air shows by now across the country. So they're itching to do their mission, and the opportunity to combine that with a salute to our healthcare workers is what a fantastic day today is going to be. So they're excited. They want to put on a great, safe, and exciting show for hopefully everybody to go see. And look at the weather out there. I'm looking at the weather outside my window. What a great day to watch some airplanes.
And I have to say, after the last week when we had clouds in the sky, a little bit of rain passing through the valley, this really is the perfect day, the perfect Saturday to do this. And General, it looks like they're flying into formation now.
There they are. They're getting set up.
It's a beautiful thing. Okay, it looks like they're making their approach to the first hospital, which is Centennial Hills Hospital up in Summerlin. You can see the smoke.
That extra plane that's in the back is our chase ship. He's taking some good looking photos. Boy, they look.
Kind of takes your breath away there, General. It's beautiful. And I love that we can see that people are outside of the hospital, spread out with their eyes to the skies, maybe their phones in the air, catching this sight of the Thunderbirds making their way overhead.
Yeah, that is awesome. That is great to see.
General, this might be kind of a silly question, but I know when you're looking from the ground and you're looking up, the jets look like they are just wingtip to wingtip. How close are they actually?
Well, they are violating social distancing rules for sure. They are wingtip to wingtip. I've flown with them about 10 times. And what's amazing is the formation actually moves while it's in flight in relationship to where the crowd is. So they will move in order to fix the parabolic effect. And so you think they look stable, but they're actually moving in relationship to the crowd the whole time. It's an incredibly precise activity that they're doing. I had no idea until I flew with them for the first time.
So General, you have flown with the Thunderbirds?
I have. They let me jump in the back seat, and I go watch them do their mission. The Thunderbirds get a chance to work for me, and so to watch them perform and to do their community outreach is all an opportunity to make sure we're doing things safely in accordance with our own rules, in accordance with the FAA procedures. But it's a real treat to go on the road with all of them. They're fantastic officers and airmen. They fly way too close for me. I'm an F-15 pilot. I like to be away from people. They fly really too close.
Tell me about that moment, though, when you're in a fighter jet and feel that sort of firepower under you, carrying you. I mean, what is that like?
It's great. It never gets old. Here in Las Vegas, especially, you and I talked, Jackie, before Aviation Nation with Ross, coming back to Nellis Air Force Base and seeing the valley in front of you, having done one of the best training missions we can do on the premier training ranges in the world here at the Nevada Test and Training Range. It's just a treat. It's something I looked to the skies back in about 1978, 79. I saw the Thunderbirds. They inspired me to do something exciting, and here I am today, still flying F-15s, which is truly, it's just a dream come true.
A dream come true indeed. Looks like they're making their way to the second part of the valley. Do we know where they are right now?
I'm looking at the little teleprompter screen. It's tough to tell. I think Ross might have it. Does he have a good view out there?
Yeah, Ross, let's try to bring in Ross from the roof of KTNV right now. Ross, can we get you?
Yes, you can. Jackie, Brigadier General Novotny, I am looking right now at downtown Summerlin, obviously in the far west part of the valley, and we have just seen the Thunderbirds do a little maneuver over what looks like downtown Summerlin from where we're standing. We can hear the planes from the distance. I'm sure many people in the western part of the valley can hear them right now, but Brigadier General Novotny, if I could just ask you a quick question. I know we've heard so many people make the comparison to a war that is being fought right now against this coronavirus, and war tends to be your area of expertise, but obviously you guys have kind of had to sit this one out. What do you make of the effort that some of the frontline healthcare workers have been doing, the job they've been doing fighting this virus on the front lines?
I think they've been doing fantastic. It's incredibly tough. It's one thing I believe, if I were to put myself in their shoes, to treat a car accident patient or to treat somebody who's having heart failure when you know that your life is not at personal risk. You can focus everything on the patient at hand. But when you walk into the operating room or you walk into the emergency room and you're dealing with somebody with a communicable disease, I think obviously that really makes them understand that they're doing a service that they're for the community that's ahead of their own personal safety. And that's something that we should be proud of, that our healthcare workers are doing every day that they go to work. They put themselves at risk to make sure that all of us are healthy. And I think that, in some ways, Ross, that's no different than what our airmen, our soldiers, our Marines, our Coast Guardmen, our sailors are all doing. We understand service before self. There's a lot of times that we know what we're getting into and we're prepared for that. We train for it every day. And I think this new challenge for our healthcare workers is really, at the end of all of this, they're going to learn a lot from this scenario. They're going to be better the next time something like this comes around. And I think those teams are going to be incredibly strong when we come out the backside of it.
Absolutely. All those healthcare workers are putting country before self. As we watch the Thunderbirds now heading to the southwest part of the valley, it looks like they're in the Spring Valley area. Anyone living in the southwest probably seeing and hearing those fighter jets right now. And Brigadier General Novotny, it looks like when they get to these areas, these hospitals that they are saluting, that they're doing a little bit of a maneuver. Is that your understanding as well?
What I understand they're doing is that several of the hospitals happen to be in the corners of the valley. So they're doing kind of a reposition to get aligned back. Moving those kind of airplanes together is not the easiest thing. And so it takes a little bit of maneuvering, a little bit of movement. And we're not going to do normal things that we would do in an air show, such as go over the top or go inverted or pull more G's or go really fast, which gives us some performance increases. So we're going to try to tamper all that down. So they're going to just need to take a little bit more maneuvering room to get on alignment.
And how much communication is happening inside those cockpits right now between planes?
It's really a little bit one way. So the boss who's out front is giving them cues as to when they're turning and the onset of the G rate and any kind of changes in power. And he'll have a cadence, almost like he's singing. He'll have a cadence and an inflection, which will give the pilots who are looking right at the other airplane the cues that there's more pull on the stick or we're going to ease off the stick. And so they can see it with their eyes, they can feel it in their body, and then they can hear it with their ears as well. And that's what makes it look so stable, because they have so many cues warning them when the changes are coming to the flight path. So they'll be talking back and forth as well. Not a whole lot from the wingman into the boss, unless he's asking for fuel checks or status of the airplanes or things of that nature. It's mostly a little bit one way from the boss to the team.
And Brigadier General, again, kind of building off of Ross's question, in times of war, I know there's been comparisons right now with the coronavirus. There is this feeling of people coming together, and there's this collective sense that we are all moving through this at the same time together. And do you feel that? Do you feel that sense of camaraderie and collective movement through this? And to me, there's a sense of hope involved in knowing that we are all in this together in a very real way.
Without a doubt, it feels like after 9/11, where we had a common purpose as a nation to move together, that was far more focused inward on America. This is a much more global challenge. I'm with you, Jackie. I think everybody is ready for some positive news. I think we've been doing our social distancing right. I think we've allowed the medical communities to kind of catch up with logistics, and hopefully we've done everything right, and we can see some light at the end of this tunnel in the next few weeks and start working our way back to what normal life looks like, I hope.
Absolutely. Brigadier General, I have to say, and Ross, I'm sure that you just heard that, but those jets, those Thunderbirds just passed right overhead in our studio, and I could feel just a little vibration under the desk. You can definitely hear them when they pass overhead.
Absolutely. We just had an unbelievable view of the Thunderbirds as they passed along the west side of the strip. It looks like they're going to be flying north to the north end of the strip and coming right down the strip. The visual here is just so powerful, and you know they're really moving when the sound reverberations are a second or two behind when you're actually seeing these planes fly by, but you can definitely see them and you can definitely hear them. Like you said, Jackie, as they just flew right overhead above us in our stations here in Chinatown.
Absolutely. Brigadier General, I know at the top of the show we said that no one is immune to the coronavirus, no one is unaffected by it. We know that you've had several cases of coronavirus up at the Air Force Base. Tell me about how the men and women are doing up there and how you guys are dealing with the social distancing and still making sure that you're prepared for what you need to be able to do.
Right. We have, you know, the good news is I've talked to many of our patients, many of our airmen that tested positive. That includes family members and some retirees. And we're fortunate. We have a pretty young population. We have a fairly healthy population with a lot of frequent access to great medical care. So they're tolerating the virus very well. We've already returned some folks back to work. So they've been considered in the recovered category, and we're waiting on a few more to come out of that category as well. I think, how has it affected us? You know, there are some things that are not conducive to social distancing. I think everybody knows that. Mm-hmm. And we've had to really change the way we do business, and it's really made us challenge some of the previous assumptions. The good news is it took us just a little bit of time to adapt to it, but we're back at it again. And we're producing sorties every single day. Here's the Thunderbirds flying over the valley. We've been flying the Thunderbirds just a little bit. So, you know, this is no different than any other challenge the military will hit you with. It may take you just a minute to assess the situation, and then it's time to get right back to work and start defending our nation. So we took a few days off just to get settled, to understand it. Plus, there were significant closures inside the city, which affected our airmen, like schools and things of that nature. So once we got over that first day or two, we're right back at it. I'd say about 85%. And to be honest with you, we could get back to 100%, but we're still kind of watching the situation and making sure our team has all the tools and resources available to them. We don't take any unnecessary risk.
And speaking of resources, I know that the question of supplies being funneled into the hospitals across the valley has been a big question, whether they're going to have enough supplies to keep up with the demand and patients coming in. And we told a story just about a week and a half ago about one of your airmen who stepped up in really an incredible way to start making face shields for hospitals in the valley using the 3D printers. So that is such an ingenious and creative, innovative way to do what you can and support.
Yeah, Jackie, nobody told him to do that. He just was at home and he downloaded the National Institute for Health kind of blueprint. He had his own 3D printer. It's kind of his hobby. And he just started getting after it. And from the moment I heard about it, which was on Friday, until the day we went to mass production, which was Monday morning, was incredibly short. So we're really excited about how fast we were able to react to that. And I tell you what, he's been cranking them out. I think we've made several hundred. Wow. And given them to our hospital here in town, our hospital here on base, rather. And I know he shared all of the details with everybody else as well.
And I can't say that I'm surprised that all of the airmen and women are stepping up in that amazing kind of way, but we always are so thankful to everyone up at the Air Base for supporting our community in the way that you do. I love to see people across the valley standing outside with their eyes to the skies, taking in this beautiful, very symbolic view today. Ross, tell me about what you're seeing right now. Where are those Thunderbirds in the valley?
So we have lost our view actually of the Thunderbirds. We just watched as they flew down the entire strip from north end to south end, but you know, and I know that the south end of the strip is quite a metropolis, and that's kind of where we lost the Thunderbirds, going back behind those buildings. But just seeing that image of our Thunderbirds flying in formation down the strip is something that I never really expected to see, but it's such a powerful image. And just seeing, like you mentioned, many people out saluting our heroes. I'm seeing a couple people standing on their balconies and just trying to catch a glimpse of the Thunderbirds as I assume they're heading south towards Henderson and eventually Boulder City before heading back to Nellis Air Force Base. But just going off of your point, and you know, all of this is clearly a nod to the healthcare professionals here in the Valley that have been doing such an amazing job fighting on the front lines to really help anyone who has been afflicted by this horrific virus. And I just want to give a shout out to some of the small business owners. I've been interviewing a lot of them over the past few weeks, and they are really struggling right now. That we've documented that at length, but they've also made sacrifices and have made other contributions to our healthcare workers. I know so many of them, and I can't name them because there's been so many, but they have been delivering meals around the clock. Night shift workers, day shift workers, anyone who is working at these hospitals right now on the front lines have been getting meals from so many of these restaurants and businesses that are hurting themselves but are making sacrifices because they know who the true heroes are during this time. So just wanted to give a quick shout out to all of those small business owners making those sacrifices to keep our frontline healthcare workers fed right now.
Absolutely. I think we've seen that, like you said, Ross, across the valley in this time where people are struggling themselves, but they're going out of their way to help people who are either on the front lines or struggling more than they are. And I think that just shows how connected we all are. And even if you can't do a whole lot right now, you can do something. And even if it's just being kind, being compassionate, reaching out to a friend or a family member and saying, hey, I know that we can't be physically close right now, but we can support each other in other ways and be there for each other.
Absolutely, and we've actually seen some of these campaigns for people at home who feel like they really can't do anything to help during these times. We've seen these campaigns like Stay Home for Nevada, Go Blue for Nevada have really caught on and gone viral in so many cases online, and that's been so great to see. Another way for people to just come together. Social media has been, obviously polarizing during the past 10 or so years, but this is when we see kind of the great parts of social media, so that's been really powerful.
Yeah, Ross, can we make an amendment today with the Thunderbirds thank you salute? Can we say, let's go red, white, and blue for Nevada?
I love that. Let's go red, white, and blue. Obviously, we have our blue on today, but red, white, and blue, that's what it's all about, putting country before self, like Brigadier General Novotny said earlier.
Absolutely. I mean, just watching the Thunderbirds and this image right now, Ross, you can't see it, but all of us who are watching this broadcast right now can. We just faded from a shot of the Thunderbirds in their formation to a shot of the American flag blowing in the wind, standing tall, and it's stunning. Brigadier General, let's chat with you once again. How is this to see the Thunderbirds making their way across the valley? What are you feeling right now?
Hey, this is great, Jackie. We love being in this town. All the Thunderbirds live in town. We go to church in town. We shop in town. Just like Ross said, we have our favorite Thai foods and pizza joints and burger joints in town. And so an opportunity to do Aviation Nation like we did in November and invite all our friends on base and to see the fun things the exciting things that we do, and maybe we inspire a young man or a young woman to put on the nation's cloth and come serve is such a treat. And they'll still get a chance to do that and look up in the sky and see something exciting. And maybe there's a kid out there that goes to, Discovery Charter School and says, hey, I want to be a fighter pilot one day, and we'll take them. They can sign right up. I'll give them my number.
And Brigadier General Novotny, they may be standing outside of their home right now and they may be feeling that call to serve.
I hope so. It's what worked for me. I saw the Thunderbirds, like I talked about, back in 1978. And it was inspiring. It was exciting. And I went to the Air Force Academy, and I'm just so blessed to have had a wonderful career doing this as well. So looks like they're on their way back over here towards us.
Yeah. Does it look like they're making their way back up home?
I hear them coming closer right now.
Okay. And that is why I just have to say that we are so incredibly lucky. The Thunderbirds represent the Air Force all across the country throughout the year, and we are so lucky that the Thunderbirds call Las Vegas home. We are so lucky that that you guys are here and that you're supporting the entire community, that you're part of the community during this time. It's just I feel lucky. I feel grateful that you guys are here for us.
Well,
we need you.
Thanks, Jack. I get the feeling's mutual. We're so lucky to be in this awesome town. That is really a truly military and veteran friendly town. I saw tweets coming out from the senators today all about how excited they were to see the Thunderbirds going over Las Vegas. So we couldn't ask for a better place to train. The weather's fabulous. We have a pro-military government here in Las Vegas and in the state. So it's a win-win situation for us.
A win-win indeed. We are going to bring in the Chief of Staff at Nellis right now. Let's see if we have him on the line.
I think that's the Chief of Staff of the Air Force.
Of the Air Force, okay.
Hey, Blender, can you hear me?
Okay, well, I guess we don't have him
Hi,
yet, and
Chief.
that's
How are
okay.
you, sir? It's great to hear from you.
Do we have him
Hey,
on the
good.
line? Okay, hello. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm good. How are you doing?
Well, we're doing well. Let's talk about this salute in the skies today, the thank you, the Thunderbird thank you. What are you feeling as you're watching these jets make their way back home to Nellis?
You know, we all have so many stories of getting inspired when we were younger. I remember seeing the Thunderbirds when I was much younger, just like Jill Novotny, and certainly inspired me to go in. But you know what's great is this opportunity that we have to be able to just say thanks to the
Absolutely. Well, we need to thank our healthcare workers across the valley. They have been doing an incredible job. And in addition to the healthcare workers who are truly on the front lines, we do want to thank all of the grocery store workers, the vendors, the people who are really keeping our community moving right now as we move through this very challenging and quite honestly a frightening time for our country. All right, well, we are still with our eyes to the skies right now. Ross, tell me what you're seeing. Are the jets back up at Nellis at this point?
It appears so. We can just see kind of some smoke off in the distance in the very northeast part of the valley, obviously where Nellis is located. So we're assuming that they are making their final approach back to Nellis Air Force Base. But Jackie, just like you said, I mean, like, let's call it like it is. These are uneasy times. These are nervous times. And it seems like we are making these social distancing efforts and it's having a good impact. It seems to be flattening the curve somewhat, but I mean, we don't really know when this is going to end. So I think in these uneasy times, salutes like this from our military members at Nellis Air Force Base at least allows us to take our mind off of those uneasy times as we wake up every morning not knowing when this is going to end. So this is what I'm going to draw on when I am feeling nervous or uneasy going ahead in the future. I'm going to think about, you know, the military members that clearly have our backs and all of the healthcare workers that have our backs here in the valley. It's just been a great sign to see on this Saturday.
Absolutely, Ross. And I have to say that I feel like this just reminded us of who we are today. We are resilient, we are kind, we're compassionate, we are all in this together. And I can feel that today. And Brigadier General, we are so grateful for you for spending this last half an hour with us and making this happen for our community, because what a beautiful moment it was. Thank you.
My pleasure, Jackie and Ross. It's great to see you as well. And listen, you know, when we get on the backside of this, let's all get back together again, and we'll talk about how great this was, and maybe we'll see if we can't do this again. They just flew over my house and made a bunch of rackets, so I'm going to file a noise complaint here as soon as we get off the air.
I love it. I love it. I might have to do the same. But we loved it. It was great, every minute of it. Thank you so much to everyone for watching today. That does it for a Thunderbird salute. If you'd like to see the air show again, we'll put it up online on ktnv.com and our Facebook page. And for the latest news and weather, join us on 13 Action News live at 5. Thank you for making us a part of your day.